Hello, Master Duel Central. How's it going, guys? So today we're going to be talking about the Duelist Cup. We've got a lot of decks to showcase. I always love making these videos. It's a good way to get the community together in the Discord, which, by the way, you should join. Link in the description. Completely free to join. And yeah, there's a lot of really good decks for this event. The new pack has kind of thrown us a curveball. Starting this Duelist Cup with a whole new pack is really interesting. There's some decks that are going rampant. And honestly, I just want to get into it, show you guys some deck lists, show you guys some replays so that you either have a good idea of what to play or maybe what to prepare for, and just let me know in the comments if there's a deck I missed in here that you think I should have mentioned, and let's just get into it. So first off, we have Labyrinth here, and Labyrinth, pretty solid deck. This event is very toxic. Of course, people will be playing their most sweaty decks, so in comparison this one might feel a little too fair, but it's not too expensive. It's somewhat cheap. You need 2 of the lovely Labyrinth, you need 3 of the UR Trap, and you can get away with like 2 Entis if you don't want to craft all 3 of them, because it's not like you're always going to be resolving all 3 Dogmatica punishment anyway. Most of the time you don't. But yeah, overall this deck is not too expensive. It's a lot of fun to play. Probably one of the most fun good decks that you can play right now in the event, and you'll definitely see results with it. It's for a trap deck, it's not too bad at going second. Obviously it's not ideal, but it's not too bad at it. So I do think this deck has a fighting chance. I also want to mention in this video I'm going to be going through the deck lists one by one, and then we'll be going into the replays just to make it easier for you. Just take all the replays in one place, all the deck profiles in the other, and we're not going to be going through like the card by card. Just going to give you kind of a general idea of the decks you can play here. So there's a lovely Labyrinth over here that I think is going to be a really good option. Let's get on to the next deck. Alright, so this here, Runic, provided to us by LFR, and yeah, this deck, I mean, you guys have probably seen it. It's very disgusting. The list LFR is going for here is not running any floodgates and focusing mostly on milling out your opponent's deck as fast as possible, and I have an insane replay for you guys where this guy plays against a 60 card deck, and trust me, this deck can definitely mill you out. Against a 40 card deck, sometimes you can even mill out the opponent's deck in one turn. It's actually ridiculous. The way this list works is really interesting. You've got the Cyber Valley here with the draw effect, and you kind of pair it with the reasonings and the monster gates, and you just kind of get your engine going. Obviously the reasonings and monster gates will fill up your graveyard with runic spells so that you can recycle them with the runic fountain. And then Runic Fountain is not once per turn, so it's just insane. Well, it's once per turn, but it's not a hard once per turn. So you can activate another Runic Fountain, do it again, get recycling, recycle, and just keep going forever and ever. It's really disgusting. This deck is so toxic, but again, like, no judging here. For an event like this, if you're going to be playing something toxic to get as many W's as possible, that's basically how the event is structured. Dino boys, don't think I forgot about you. This is a deck list I'm going for the event here, and I've been performing very well with this. It's a going first Dino. I know I haven't played going first Dino in a while, but I've been seeing so many runic decks and so many Despia that I figured, you know what, we can go first, set up a Naturia Beast, and it'll pretty much win us most of our games. And that's basically what was happening. And whenever I was going first, pretty much I was winning the game. Going second, it's still dinos, so going second is not the end of the world. We're definitely running less going second cards, but it's still really good at going second. We've got the Dugaras still, so we can do something big here. If you want, even you can remove the IP Masquerena unicorn package, and you can add in a Pentas tag and maybe a Lagia. Don't forget the Gallant Granite so that you can search out your Keystone and make yourself a Naturia Beast. I have a replay for this. Really fun deck. Really enjoy it. Alright, so next up we have Branded Despia. Now I'm not going to tell you this is particularly the build you should go for with Branded Despia. The thing is, there's so much variety and so many good ways to play Branded Despia that I just want to show you like a very basic example of a Despia deck. I am running in here the Idolok. You don't have to run it if you don't want to, but it's pretty damn good. It's going to win you some games for sure. I'm running also the Fairy Tale Snow as my light send. You can replace this with another light send you prefer, like Nibiru, but I honestly don't think Nibiru is that good in the current format. And for the extra deck, nothing too spicy. Really, there's no spice at all. I've been seeing a couple of people still playing the Dragon Link, so make sure to run your Alba in case you run into a Dragon Link. You can just set your Albaz and just get rid of their entire board. So just overall, I mean, it's no secret that this deck is pretty amazing. I have a really good replay for you from Pink playing Despia. He's playing a different build than this. There's just so many ways to play this deck. You already know there's a million ways to play Despia. Anyway, on to the final deck here. Alright, so finally, I want to talk about Sword Soul, and unless you plan on pulling out your your Xbox and playing with crossplay off, I really don't think this deck is going to be doing much for you. To be honest, I think this deck is a little too fair at the moment. It typically sets up like one Omni Negate and one Monster Negate, and if you're lucky, and you can maybe get a Vessel of the Dragon Cycle and set yourself up to go get a Sacred Summit and maybe get yourself into, like, I don't know, a Dragite using the Taya. So overall, at most, usually you're getting 2 or 3 interruptions, which is really not that amazing. I think the deck is just, like I said, just a little bit too fair for the current format. But you know, this is one way you could play it, and it's fun. I mean, like I said, if you play with crossplay off, you should be doing fine. I do have a replay for this where I win, but honestly, you can play it if you want. Make sure to just turn crossplay off for this one. Okay, so let's get into our replays here, and we are going to start with Labyrinth. Now, Labyrinth, like I said, a lot of fun to play. Very simple deck. You activate Labyrinth, normal summon the Ariana to search out the Welcome Labyrinth. I set 4 and I pass. So we have Evenly Matched, which is pretty dead, but going second is pretty useful, so we keep running it. Dimensional Barrier, Welcome Labyrinth, and Fair Welcome Labyrinth. I'm still mixed on this card. I might end up removing it, but it's just funny. It's just funny. So anyway, go on, and what is our opponent playing? Oh, big surprise. They activate Card Destruction, mill out a bunch of cards. They're playing Runic. So crazy, but this seems like a really bad version of Runic. They normal out the Raiden, so we activate Welcome Labyrinth, summon out the Lovely Labyrinth, pop the Raiden, then we get to trigger the Lovely Labyrinth effect, pop a card in our opponent's hand, and we get to draw a card off of the Ariana. So if we go again just a little quicker here, we can set ourselves the Ghastly Glitch, pop a card in our opponent's hand. They're going to activate Runic Golden Droplet to summon a monster. We activate Dimensional Barrier to shut off Fusion Summoning, very, very strong, and they're going to chain another card and just scoop it up. I don't really blame them, honestly. Like, I don't think this is really the way you should be playing Runic, playing a bunch of monsters and trying to do goofy stuff with it. I'm going to show you how I think you should actually play Runic. Alright, so this replay right here for Runic is coming from Elfiar, and it's very, very disgusting, very toxic. Really does give you an idea of how filthy what you can do with Runic gets. And let's just check it out here. Now, I'm not going to lie, I don't know every single interaction in this deck. It's pretty complicated. It goes a little crazy, but first things first, our opponent's going to normal summon Moye. We're going to activate Imperm to negate the Moye. We are going second. Our opponent's playing 60 cards here. So draw for the draw phase. We get Lightning Storm, Lucky, pop the back row. Activate Reasoning. Our opponent declares level 2. We start milling cards, and we are milling. Send the Reasoning, send the Runic Slumber, send the Lava Golem, send, what was that? Runic Dispelling, send our Field Spell, Terraforming, Monster Gate, Runic Tip, sending another Runic Tip, and we finally get to summon out our Cyber Valley. Then we activate Runic Freezing Curses to special summon a Hugin the Runic Wings. From there, the Runic Wings is going to discard a card to search out the Runic Fountain, and then we can activate Cyber Valley, tributing Cyber Valley as well as Runic Wings to draw 2. Then we get to activate Runic Fountain, activate Runic Smiting Form, get out a Gary the Runic Fangs. Runic Fangs is going to target the Runic Fountain in the grave, and then Runic Fountain going to target 3 cards in the grave to shuffle back into the deck and draw 3. So shuffle back 3, draw 3, then we get to add back a Runic Fountain, and look at this. Look at this. Summon out the Cyber Valley, banish both, get to draw 2 again, activate another Runic Fountain, then we get to activate Runic Flashing Fire, summon out the Munin, and yeah, you can kind of guess what it is at this point. Discarding a card with the Runic Wings, we get to activate Runic Fountain again because it's not once per turn, shuffling 3 in the deck, drawing 3, and then Runic Wings is going to get Runic Allure. Then we're going to activate Monster Gate yet again, sending our Runic Wings to the grave, and we start digging for that Cyber Valley. Get the Cyber Valley out, and then we activate another Runic Fountain. We activate Runic Allure, we chain Runic Destruction, summon out the Gary, then we go Runic Allure, each time a quick play spell activates, banish the top card of your opponent's deck. So at this point, you know, we're just kind of milling. We get to shuffle back 3 into the deck, draw 3, get back our Runic Fountain thanks to the Gary, then we can use the effect of Cyber Valley again, banishing the 2 to draw 2, activate the Runic Tip, adding the Black Dispelling to the hand, then we activate another Runic Fountain, we get to activate our Runic Golden Droplet, milling cards from the top of our opponent's deck, and at this point, I mean, I don't need to tell you this for like 5 hours, I'm not going to tell you every single effect, I kind of gave you a decent idea, I hope. This is just disgusting. So, you know, setting a couple of cards and passing here. Our opponent is now at 42 cards in one turn. We brought them from 55 to 42. Then we start summoning out some stuff. We out of back row. And we get to banish a couple cards from the top of our opponent's deck here. Crazy chain links going on. We still, on our opponent's turn, get to shuffle 3, draw 3, get back a Runic Fountain thanks to Gary. And they're going to go for battle. We're going to go Runic Tip, add 1 Runic card from deck to hand. Then we get to use our Runic Allure again. We can chain the Slumber. By the way, if you guys didn't know, when you have Runic Fountain up on the field, you can activate your flash spells from your hand during your opponent's turn, which is a pretty important aspect of the deck here. So, activating 2 more flash spells, we get to use the Runic Allure, mill some more cards off of our opponent's deck. They're now down to 22 by the end of turn 3. We're going to activate, oh man, Runic Flashing Fire, get rid of that monster, and right now they're at 19 at the start of our turn. Like, I'm telling you, we're playing against a 60 card deck here. They can't do anything. We're milling cards and milling cards and milling cards. It's absolutely disgusting. We get to draw 3 again off of Fountain, activate the Runic Tip, search a Golden Droplets, and we can go for Runic Allure. It just keeps going and never stops. Activate a Runic Fountain, mill more cards. I'm telling you, when you're playing with a bunch of floodgates and a bunch of like weird combos that you're trying to do, you're just breaking your deck and stopping yourself from doing crazy things like this that just never stop. So, past turn, our opponent is on 6 cards now. They're going to go for Sword Soul Sacred Summit. We're going to activate Runic Tip, adding a Golden Droplet from deck to hand here. And they summon out the Moye. We're going to activate the Runic Allure. They reveal the long one in hand. We're going to activate our Runic Fountain, shuffling 3 into the deck to draw. And they activate Ghost Bell. So we chain Runic Droplet, Flashing Fire. We mill out their entire deck at this point. Then we go for Runic Allure to banish from the top of their deck, and they just scoop it up. I mean, dude, like, what is this? Why is this legal? This is insane. Like, shout out to LFR for showing me this. I had no idea this deck went that hard. So, yeah, pretty terrifying stuff. Watch out for Runics. If you have the card, maybe build it. I got pretty damn lucky with my Runic pulls, so I might have to build it if I want to get really toxic this event, because it just seems so crazy. That's going to be it for this replay. Let's go on to maybe the Dino replay or something. Alright, so next up we have a Dino replay, and I'm going to be honest with you, I did get the God Hand in here, but I figured, you know, why not showcase the God Hand? I was on a win streak. I got a 5-game win streak in Duelist Cup with Dino, so I might play some more Dinos on stream Saturday when we stream the event. But yeah, just the God Hand, right? When you have Ash, Misk, Baby, Fossil Dig, and Called By, I don't think a Dino Hand really gets any better than this. So naturally, we activate Misk. We're going to negate their Maxi with the Ash Blossom. We're going to go out and get ourselves an Archosaur. Archosaur is going to pop the Baby. Going to go get ourselves a double evolution pill, Baby effect in the grave. Summon out the Ovi. Ovi effect. Going to get a Baby from the deck. And we're going to summon that Baby, pop the Baby, let's go, summon another Baby from the grave, activate Baby effect, get out the Scrap Raptor. They're going to Nibiru because they didn't read Misk. Of course they didn't. Pop the Baby with the Scrap Raptor, bring out another Baby, and we make ourselves a Linkuriboh. I just like having the extra non-dino in the grave just for funsies. Go into Scrap Wyvern effect, bring back the Scrap Raptor. Then we pop the Scrap Raptor, use the Wyvern effect and the Scrap Raptor, get to add a Chimera to hand, summon out a Scrap Raptor, pop the Baby, get out of the deck a Giant Rex, summon the Scrap Chimera, bring back the Scrap Raptor. I did this a little early, but it's not really the end of the world. So we make ourselves a Gallant Granite, detaching the Giant Rex, very important. Get a Nemesis Keystone, returning the Mist to the deck. We can special summon Keystone, make ourselves a Naturia Beast. Then we use all 3 of these monsters to make ourselves an Appaloosa, activate the double evolution pill, and with that we can make ourselves a Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Now our opponent scoops it up at this point, so I do want to point out, after we banish the Giant Rex, it would come back to the field. We could go into a Borreload Savage Dragon and get an Omni Negate on top of the Infinite Spell Negate and the 3 Monster Negates, as well as UCT. And with Fossil Dig, I would have probably grabbed either a Baby or a Misk, not sure. But yeah, just honestly, I think going for his dinos is looking pretty good here. It's really not looking too bad at all. So if you want to play some dinos, maybe check out this dino list and give it a shot. I was getting pretty good results with it. Alright, and for our final replay here, we have a replay from Pink in the Discord, also known as Ichigo in the Discord. So thank you so much for this replay. It's a very big brain branded replay. I had gotten one of my own and I thought it was really good because I like destroyed a Sword Soul board, but it wasn't quite as impressive as this one. So I figured we'd just showcase this one instead. So here we go. Normal summon a Luber. And obviously, you search the Branded Fusion, activate Branded Fusion. Very standard fare. You all know how this deck plays. Make a Lubellion effect, as well as Despian Tragedy. So discarding the Fallen of Albaz here, we make ourselves a Mirror Jade, the Ice Blade Dragon, search out a ad libitum of Despia. With the Mirror Jade, we banish itself, sending the Albion, so that on end phase we can search a Branded in red. So we've got face down Super Poly, Branded in red, Called by the Grave, and Alibur on the field. So it's our opponent's turn. They normal summon Amano Iwado, activate Runic Fountain. They're playing Runics, go Runic Tip, search out a card from the deck, activate Pot of Duality, and you know, they're just doing disgusting Runic things here. So they add the Card of Demise, then they do more things. They set a card, they activate Runic Destruction, pop the Super Poly, then they're going to activate the Runic Fountain, shuffling back 2 to draw 2, set 2 more cards, and this is really smart here. So on end phase, when they trigger Amano Iwado to add it back to the hand, since it's a spirit monster, we activate the Branded in red to go Chimera. So we target the Despian Comedy. Despian Tragedy, my bad. And yeah, from here, basically, using Tragedy, Alibur, and the Ad Libitum, we make ourselves a Guardian Chimera. Guardian Chimera, obviously, because the Amano Iwado leaves the field, gets to trigger its effect, and we get to pop some cards. So that's why it's really smart, just chaining it to the end phase effect of Amano Iwado here. Of course, you have your Ad Libitum triggering, as well as your Tragedy. They're going to activate Max C, and we're getting petty a little bit here, so we're going to activate Called By, not even giving them a single draw here. And, you know, at that point, it's just goofy. It's just silly. We're going to get a card to our hand, get to pop this, then we draw 2, summon out the Mirror Jade, and from here, it's just looking a little too good, a little too unfair, so the Runic player will just scoop it up. So really good Branded replay right here, and really goes to show, like, Branded is nothing to mess with. It's going to be really, really good this format. I think Runic is still, like, in a great place. I don't think this, like, disproves that or anything, but definitely Branded is still top tier. So yeah, that wraps it up for the replay. Sorry if I tripped over my words a lot in the replays. I'm a little bit tired, to be honest. Yesterday, I made like 2 videos super early in the morning when all this shit dropped. That's also why this video is late. But yeah, thank you so much for checking out the video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. We are trying to get to 5,000 subscribers by New Year's, and I think we can do it. But we really got to push those sub numbers. Huge shout out to my USDT tier members. That would be Raptor, Bonkerman for 20, Dad Dude Joey, Hudaman Me, Right Toast, and Brett Webster, as well as everyone supporting in the Miss tier, Baby tier, over on Twitch, and you who's liking, commenting, and especially subscribing. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Seriously, I really appreciate it. I know this event is not, you know, the most fun or the most enjoyable, but, you know, make the best of it. I don't think you should stress over, like, ranking too high in this event. You guys remember how it was last time. So this time, make sure to try to enjoy it and just accept you might not get absolutely everything, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for checking out the video. That's going to be it from me, and peace.